welcome back to Reflections right here on Flex TV. And as I said before, I have a very special guest and the one and only first time I'm interviewing this young man. TV nor radio have I ever interviewed him. So here we are, the one and only Mr. Kashief Lindo. Kashief.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Finally.
Finally. Listen, in New York, I always heard that you, Freddie McGregor, to a degree, Marcia Griffiths, were like gods down here, little gods.
Oh, really?
And yes.
Okay.
And I came here now 20 years, and I'm like, my goodness, they are gods down here. You guys are like, you just run South Florida.
I don't put myself in that category with Freddie and Marcia. I mean, those are two big legends that's been in it for a very, very long time. But for me to be in that bracket, that's a very high praise.
I used to hear, because I've been getting you, before I came here, I checked my file, Kashief Lindo. You know, I have 402 songs in your file.
Really?
402.
Wow.
When, you know, I know you're a child prodigy, and when did you realize that this is what you want to do? You know, despite the fact that you have a very famous dad.
Yes.
But you still have to do your thing. Your dad can only give you the opportunities.
Yeah.
But you have to have the talent. When did you realize this is what you want to do?
I'll start off by saying I grew up in the studios. It's my second home. And when I discovered that I wanted to do it, it took a little while, to be honest, you know. So certain songs that came out before that brought my name out. My mind wasn't fully there yet, so it took a while for me to get there, you know. But I always knew that the connection with music was there from a very early age, so you couldn't get me away from it at all, you know.
So do you think you had, like, I've spoken to so many of them, tell me to them, born in conception and born with it. You think that applies to you, being that you know you have a famous father in the industry?
I know the talent is there, but I didn't penetrate it like that, to be honest with you. My mind was on other things. But the one thing I always loved was going to the studio with my father. So, and seeing the interaction with him and the musicians and the work process. So that's what I enjoyed as a little kid at the time, growing up seeing.
I've seen a video of you singing. You can't be no more than 7, 8.
Oh.
You remember that video?
I do.
So from that age, you, I think with you though, and being in New York, we get your stuff because you have an uncle that had a record store there in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, we had a shop there.
Yeah, that shop there, and he was always pushing your stuff. At that young age, you had a Michael Jackson image. You had a Michael Jackson sound. Explain that. What did Michael Jackson mean to you?
Well, first, is not, well, people will say that I have that similar sound to Michael, you know. But yeah, Michael was a big influence. Not trying to copy his voice because I have my voice, but there's a lot of similarities there, you know.
Yeah, you can't deny that.
Right? No, and again, that's another high compliment as well. I mean, I grew up listening to Michael Jackson, you know. So, yeah.
Who else? You know, because your father, Willie Lindo, produced just about everybody from them time that you know. Who else were some of the people that influenced you?
I would say Barris Hammond for sure.
Hammond,
yeah, I was around Barris a lot, so and always listen to his music. So any projects that they've done together, I always hear it. So Barris, Stevie Wonder is another artist.
Oh, nice.
There's quite a few. I discovered Sam Cooke down the road. My dad told me to listen to. My dad told me to listen to Sam Cooke. You know, yeah, he can sing.
Yeah, he can sing.
Yeah.
When I came here, I learned, because in New York you get the records. When I came here, I learned that you are multi-talented musician. I didn't know that.
I help myself.
You're so modest, you know.
I help myself.
In terms of instrument, because I'm told that, oh no, he played the whole thing. He played on this. I remember my first album I got when I came here from you was Solid Soul.
Oh, Solid Soul, yes.
And I'm told at the time by the people at the radio station I was with that you played all the instruments.
Well, half of it I programmed the drums. No, all of it I programmed the drums, and then half of that I played everything else.
You played everything.
Yeah.
And when you, what I like with you, and before we came on set, I told you your latest song, Coldest Days of My Life. When you do a cover song, or when you're about to do a cover song, what do you look for?
Well, the first thing I look for is to make sure it comes out good, because I get nervous doing
No, in
cover
terms of
songs,
picking the song.
Oh, picking the song?
Yes.
Well, my father picked the song,
You kidding me?
Yeah.
Love TKO?
Love TKO and some other songs, yeah. So it wasn't just him, a collective of us that did that. But he wanted me to work on that project in a short space of time because we're actually working on another album. And he said, learn these songs. You know, a good portion of them I knew, you know. So it took like 6-7 weeks to complete the entire thing. Yeah.
But you, Kashief, I don't remember having a soca song of yours, but you do everything else. Your Christmas album, you do good Christmas songs, you do good R&B. You're one of the best R&B singers coming out of the reggae industry.
Oh wow.
I try to tell you, and not because you're here with me. I try to tell people, I really like your sound. I like what you do.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I really, because I think you're very versatile.
Okay.
In terms of your writing, I would say, looking at the songs in your category, your catalog, sorry, I see like maybe 50-60% of those songs were written by you.
My father. Yeah, I co-write with him, you know, and there's times where I'll I add my 2 cents in terms of the melody, and but he always starts off with the writing, you know, and then we collaborate and, you know, go through from there after.
One of the things that I see missing, most people know your name and your songs, and they see your picture and your albums and so on, but you don't tour and you don't perform as much. Why is that so?
I would more so say lately, because first time more so in the 90s, early 90s, I was doing a lot of performance at that time.
In South Florida?
Florida, New York, and then went overseas a few times.
Nice.
So,
Right.
But you know, I don't watch that. I just make sure to just stay consistent and relevant and keep putting out songs, you know. So, you know, and then something will connect.
Something will connect.
Yeah.
But you are consistently releasing songs. Is it because you have access to one of the best reggae studios in America? Because every beat has a sound that it cannot be duplicated anywhere else.
Well, what I'll say to that is for each and every one, an individual, everyone has their own identity and sound.
Right.
So there's only one you.
Right. But in terms of that, answer my question, because I'm asking you, your consistency of putting out hits, is it because you have access to one of the best studios?
Well, my father, I rank my father as the best in my eyes, you know. So his worth ethic is phenomenal, you know, and he will get the best out of anyone. So that's number one. And then obviously the engineers, they play a role too to get it right. And sometimes it could take a few days, weeks to do one song sometimes, you know.
You consider yourself a perfectionist?
I do.
You do? You are?
I do, yeah. A bit hard on myself.
What is the advantage and the disadvantage of being the son of Willie Lindo? What's the advantage first?
He's my father.
That's
a big blessing.
Right.
Disadvantage? I wouldn't say there's any. No, I'm just blessed.
Do you think you are given preferential treatment because of your last name? In terms of, like, every song you put out get massive airplay down here. Every radio station, every disc jockey play your song. Do you think it's because of who your last name, or the music is just good that they can't resist?
Yeah, what the second one you just said, because what my dad does is make sure that I have my own identity,
Right,
away from him.
Right.
So I mean, who knows? That could be a possibility, but we
Right.
don't look at it that way. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
So
right.
we just put out tune.
No, this sometimes what I notice, you would have a song on an album 15 years ago, and it's on the album, didn't get any exposure, just an album track. And I know I've seen it where you have taken off that track from that album, fluff it up. I call it fluff it up, or
Okay.
whatever you do to it, and give it a fresh sound and put that out. Explain that, because to me, I have, like even the last one here, it's on one of your albums from 97, is it 97?
Something like that.
So it's
Sure.
so close, I monitor you.
Yeah. You're doing a good job.
I do a good job. When I listen to that one and I listen to the new version, there are some similarities, but there are differences.
Yeah,
What
that's the
difference?
idea. I mean, some of the stuff back then, when those times you did more programming versus live. I mean, you still had live stuff that was put out, but I think at that time a lot of programming, like the drums and stuff, was a big feature back then. So now, trying to go back to the authentic sound in terms of live drums. So we just revised certain things and
So
tweaked
in
it a little bit. you know?
layman's term, Kashief, using all this technical thing that the average
That was technical?
viewer, not that, I understand what you're saying, but
Okay.
if I didn't know the business, I
Okay,
have that experience.
okay.
In other words, in those days you would use like a computer-driven drums.
Well, yeah, they call it a drum machine.
Drum
so,
machine,
yeah,
okay.
versus playing the live drums on it.
So now you do a lot of live instruments.
Well, most of the things you do here on them is live, but most of the times back then, like I said, you just program the drums.
Right.
And then my father played the guitar or get a bass player, and you play the keys on it same way.
Right.
So that's just what it
You
was.
are one of those artists that when you sing love song, it has meaning, and when you do the social commentary, it has meaning. Where are you more comfortable?
Both equally the same way, because one purpose is dealing with love, unity, and peace.
Right.
So they work hand in hand same way.
Because I remember, was it last year or the year before, Burn Down the House.
Yeah.
That one of the
Yeah.
edgiest songs I've heard. I know you have done a lot of the social commentary. But who were you speaking to with that song?
Well,
You
you're talking about society. I mean, you're seeing things start to unfold in front of your eyes now. You know what I mean? Stuff we've been talking about for the longest time, but now you see the technology blatantly. You're seeing what's going on. So, that's pretty much what it's saying.
And that was a big tune for you. When you get a #1 song in a different genre, like this song you're doing, both social commentary, does it encourage you to do more of that, or you just gonna continue?
Well, it's based on the vibe and what comes to your mind at that time. What needs to be said. You know what I
Right,
mean? So it's just based on what's going on now. You know what I mean? So just based off of your energy,
Right,
pretty
right,
much.
Are you working on a new album now?
I
What are you
am,
doing?
but there's no date on it yet. So that's the unknown.
Well, you're a
Yeah.
perfectionist, so it's gonna take a couple of years to get that.
Well,
but you're
hopefully not
working
that
on
long.
something.
Yeah, you're working on some stuff now and some other projects as well.
Where are you more comfortable now after like 30 years in this business? Are you comfortable in front of the mic or behind the mic?
In front or behind? Behind meaning like you doing
Like
other
producing and In front meaning, you know,
I
the
mean,
singer.
singing.
Singing?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing production. I really enjoy it. I've grown to love it a lot
Right.
more over the years.
Right.
So to discover more things about myself, which is good. So you'll be seeing a lot more of that, yeah, of the production side for sure.
And from your family side, your dad's side, you have a sister that's also.
Oh yeah.
How is
Oh
she?
yeah,
How is she
Nikisha,
doing?
she's good, and she can sing.
She can sing.
She's a phenomenal writer. Phenomenal
Right.
writer. Yeah, she's really
What's her
good.
name again?
Nikisha.
Nikisha.
Mm-hmm.
Nikisha. Do you help her out? You know, like say a Michael Jackson would work with
Oh yeah, we
Lataya or
always,
whatever.
always. I've done production for Nikisha on her Christmas album. Any project that she work on,
Right.
I'm always there. We're always there for each
For each
other.
other,
So
right.
it's an even exchange,
Right,
you know.
right.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure your dad is super proud of you too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Most of your songs are done on Every Beat record label.
Mm-hmm.
Every Beat Records. And I've seen a few from Joe Fraser, the late Knight Campbell.
Yeah.
Have you recorded for anybody else that you
Yeah.
can remember?
Yeah, Sly and Robbie,
and Robbie.
boot camp for Paul.
Paul,
Oh yeah,
Paul.
Computer Paul, man. Oh
Okay.
yeah, big up.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this past, I was in Jamaica this past Friday night for the relaunching of Stars Are Us.
Okay.
And he showed up the first time in years he has come out.
Wow.
I was telling me that boy, he has become a hermit in Jamaica right now. He doesn't come out. So you work with Paul and you work with Light Campbell, Sly and Robbie.
Yeah.
But majority of your work is with Heavy Beat.
Yeah, and those musicians done a lot of our work.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Oh yeah.
And you know, like I had a tour of Richie Stevens' Pot of Gold production. And one of the things he told me that even at the middle of the night, you get a vibe. You have a studio and you just can go in and
Yeah.
just put that down and
Yeah.
voice it and leave it for another time.
Yeah.
Have that ever happened to you?
all of us go through that.
So if you get a vibe or a melody comes into your head
Yeah.
or a line.
Yeah, you better try to jot it down quick. There's times where it happened where you say, remember it, and then it just gone.
It's just gone.
And sometimes it sounds so good, you get so upset that you didn't record it, you know?
Right.
Yeah, so.
So that's one of the advantage.
Yes, it is.
Who you have you I don't know if you do a lot, but you don't do a lot of collaborations. Have you? And who would you like to?
I've done collaborations more so in the past. I've done one song with Barris. It was on my second album.
Yes.
A few, you know. Yeah, not too many.
Right.
So, but yeah, I would like to
If
do
you, let's say you have a bucket list of who you would love to
that's
collaborate with. Who are some of the people? It don't have to be reggae. It could be across the board. R&B,
any genre.
any genre. Who would you love? Because I ask this question a lot to artists, and sometimes they give me some name. I'm like, really? So yeah, I love. Your tune, I could feel you would want to do something with Mary J. Blige.
Oh yeah, I
See?
can do that. Yeah.
You'd love to do something with her.
Oh yeah, Mary J. Who else? Stevie Wonder's still
Stevie
here.
Wonder's still here.
Yes,
Absolutely
yes,
right.
yes.
Yes.
I would love to do something with Stevie Wonder.
Wonder.
One person, I love how his approaches with the music is Bruno Mars.
Oh yes,
Bruno
He's
Mars.
so talented.
Very
Kashief.
talented guy. Yeah, very
I
talented.
can see,
man.
you know,
Yeah, man.
me playing a tune. I Love My Girl featuring Bruno Mars and Kashief Lindo. That would be.
Yeah, man.
You know, one of the things that I like with you, you have very low profile, and you know, is that just your personality, or just you want to make it that way because of who you are?
No,
Is
that's just me. Naturally,
That's
that's how
right.
I am. Yeah, man.
right.
Yep.
And do you get people running it down for dub plates and you know, because that's another part of the business. I don't
Yeah.
remember hearing anybody play a Kashief Lindo dub plate. It's something that you
Oh
you
yeah,
shy
I
away
do.
from.
No, I do dub plates all the time.
But most of the time you send them to foreign. Like,
No, man, anywhere, no matter. Oh yeah.
what would be? I know your song, the first cut is the deepest. What would you consider that your signature song? What would you
That's
call
the
it?
song that put me on the map for sure. Is
Right.
the first cut, and then other songs followed after.
So
the
you would
first cut.
consider that song your
Yeah, that's
signature?
what put my name out there
Yeah.
for sure.
There was an interview, and I talk about this all the while. There was an interview with Chris Blackwell, and they asked Chris Blackwell, you know, which song is his favorite song, or his favorite artist. And
Okay.
everybody, myself included, thought he was gonna say Bob Marley. You know what Chris Blackwell said it was? My Boy Lollipop by
Oh, wow.
Mill. Cause that
Okay.
when before that song came, he was selling records from the back of him car, from him car trunk,
Oh wow.
in England.
Wow.
And when that song came out, he was able to get an office space and from the Island record. So you repeated twice already that the first cut is the deepest is the one that put you on the map. So you are with that particular song, you treasure it because that's your signature. That's
Oh,
what
for sure.
really made
Oh
it.
yeah, for sure. That's a song I have to perform at all times.
And you know, another thing I know, you know, I hate to be going into your life, but I really admire you. I really admire you, your style, your music, and I've been playing you for years before I met you. And you don't re-record materials like even the first cut. You wouldn't update it
No.
2023, would you?
Nah, it's done its time.
It's done its time.
Yeah. So that's not going
Because
anywhere.
you know a lot of artists do that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that, you know. Nothing's wrong with that.
Right,
you know.
right,
So maybe it could depend. Could depend on the song. So,
on the song.
yeah.
Where were you born?
Jamaica,
Where in Jamaica were you born?
Kingston.
In Kingston. And at what age did you come to this country?
Early.
Early.
Very early.
Do you go? How often you go back to Jamaica?
Not often at all, really. I haven't been there in a few years well now, so well, not often. Yeah.
When I asked the question, I was in a conversation maybe 2 years ago, and the promoter he was talking about a bucket list, who he would love to have on his show, and your name came up.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, Kashief in Jamaica, because you do have a name in Jamaica. But again, like I said earlier, they see your face, they hear your music, but
Yeah.
not many people can say, yeah man, have you ever performed in Jamaica?
Yes, I have.
Where did you perform?
What was it? White River?
White River?
Poetry? That was the first show I did.
That was years ago, bro.
I know,
That
that was a
was
long
in the
time.
ni-
And the 90s, right?
The 90s, Reggae Bashful with Irie FM and
yeah.
that group.
And St. Mary Capleton show.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really those two.
If you are invited and you get an opportunity, let's say Rebel Salute or Reggae Sumfest, would you take that
Sure,
opportunity?
for sure. That's my hometown, man.
St. Mary?
No, Jamaica. I'm
Oh,
just saying
Jamaica. Oh,
Jamaica.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
No, of course.
I'm gonna talk to a few people for you, cause I think if you go Jamaica, Virgin, I believe you would tear it apart if you go to Jamaica. Because you do have a name there. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I know you have a name, cause your name come up. So where you get name again out of Florida? Willie Youth. I'm saying, yeah, Kashief Lindo. So that's something that that can become a reality.
Yeah, man. Not before the time.
Not before the
I'm good.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
But
man.
if the opportunity comes,
Of course. Yeah, man.
what's happening with your basketball tournament that you had? You know, I'm gonna ask you about
Yeah.
that. Is it coming back now that the pandemic is over? Is it coming back
Next year in May.
Next year in May. And what's the idea behind it?
Well, how that started, I'm a basketball person from a long time. That was something I was actually considering at first before singing. And I mentioned it to Joanna Marie and jumped on it very quickly and said, this is a great idea. So blessings to Joanna Marie.
Yes, Joanna, respect.
Yeah, man. And
so it is, if I remember the concept, singers versus singer, producers versus...
Yeah, man, celeb. We call it Caribbean celeb basketball. So celebrity in the Caribbean, you know, or whoever comes in, you know. So, but in the Caribbean, yeah.
So that's something, that's an open invitation to me then.
You can't play?
No. But I learned. I've never played basketball.
You sure you want to do that?
I don't know. What about soccer? If you have a soccer thing, I probably would.
I know they have something for that already, so yeah, man.
Hey, listen, Kashief Lindo, time flies, especially someone like you who I've never ever interviewed before. And I hope this is just the beginning.
Oh, for sure. Many more.
We can do radio and so on and so on.
Many more.
Many more. And good luck with your new song. I've been playing it, getting a lot of vibes on it, and it's already entered the South Florida chart.
Oh, really?
That's gonna be presented later with TC.
Wow.
So, brethren, I want to thank you for taking time out.
Yeah, man. Much respect.
Respect to you.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully this is not the last time that we're gonna be talking.
Man, like I said, many more.
Many more. Alright, so folks, that's Kashief Lindo, based right here in South Florida. And like I said earlier on top of the interview, I used to hear these guys were little gods in Florida, and I came and I witnessed it myself.
And Lindsay a promoter, bring up the biggest set of artists from Jamaica, like Super Cat and Mr. Early be the doctor. Only for artists, no for them me can't remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out no for water to reggae artists.